Now, to start off the show, you may remember about 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, we had, I don't know how long ago it was really, we had Roberta Naas on the show, and she's going to be doing a new segment with us called Journeys in Time, and we're still just flushing it out. So Roberta's with us tonight to bring us that report from SIHH. She visited the SIHH show. She covered it actually in Geneva. And we're going to spend a few minutes here, and she's going to give us a wrap-up and tell us what's going on in the world of luxury watches. Roberta, are you there?
Here.
How are you, Roberta?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful. Wonderful to have you back on the show.
Nice to be here. Sorry it took me so long.
All right. No problem, Roberta. I know this is a busy time of year for you. I know that. So tell us, how was the SIHH show in Geneva?
It was wonderful. It's sort of like being a little kid in the biggest, best candy store you can imagine. If you like watches, of course. But you have to sort of close your eyes for a minute and think about if you've been to a car show or a boat show or a comic book show or something in those cavernous halls where there are so many exhibitors, and then throw all of that away. And think about being on, the best shopping streets in Champs-Élysées or Madison Avenue, and seeing beautiful store windows filled with watches and jewelry, and no traffic around. Instead, there are restaurants and little tablecloths and beautiful places to sit. And the best part is you get to go into each one of those stores or exhibits and see and touch and feel all the new product. So it's a pretty overwhelming and exclusive place to be, and this year there were 30 exhibitors, and everybody had something special.
Well, I know in our previous talks, you wanted to show us tonight some of the best of that show, and literally $1 million watches. So what do you have up your sleeve?
Okay, well, yes. I don't want to mislead anybody and let you think that everything was $1 million watches, but this year there were a good half dozen or so watches, each carrying that $1 million price point. And I brought you some different ones this year. I think we'll start with a very sporty piece, which is by Richard Mille, a very easy name to say. And that piece is it's called the RM5003 Tourbillon Split Seconds Chronograph Ultralight McLaren F1.
Wow, that's a tongue twister. I used to know a lady very well. In fact, we're still friends. We just have gone in different directions for a while, but you know who Caroline is. And anyway, Caroline is very close friends with Richard Mille, and she would always say Richard, and you say Richard, but...
well, it is Richard, but...
Yeah, Richard Mille. And of course, for those who don't know, I know one of his brand ambassadors is Rafael Nadal, the tennis player. He wears that $500,000 tourbillon, supposedly when he's playing, but we know that's a dummy. But
no, it's a real watch.
But you can't play tennis in a tourbillon. I wouldn't even play tennis in a mechanical, period.
But you see, that's the beauty of Richard Mille. He insists that every single one of his brand ambassadors, which also includes, by the way, Olympic gold medalist Wade van Niekerk, who won the gold in Rio, he insists that all of his brand ambassadors wear their watches when they play, or he doesn't sign them on. And he does that and can do that because he makes such high-tech timepieces that, for instance, this one that I was going to show you right now, it's shock-resistant up to 5,000 Gauss. So that means that arm can accelerate as fast as it needs to hit a tennis ball, except that in this case the watch was for the F1. But yeah, it's pretty amazing what he does.
Well, anyway, $1 million, I mean, that's a lot of watch there.
A lot of watch, and for this one he teamed with McLaren, and
he's big into racing.
And so they've used a lot of the case materials and movement materials that are common to both of those fields, both high-tech automobile building and They've taken some carbon materials and graphite materials and brought them together into this watch.
All right.
Which, by the way, is the lightest of its kind in the world.
Fantastic. Where else we going?
Okay, we've got Vacheron Constantin, Les Cabinotiers Symphonia Grand Sonore. A lot of words again, but it's a beautiful, clean look, very different from that Richard Mille. And this is a watch that chimes the time. Again, $1 million watch. It was, believe it or not, 10 years in the making. And it takes a single watchmaker more than 500 hours to build a single watch.
Would this be classified as a minute repeater?
This is a combination. It's a grand sonore, so a sonore chimes the time automatically, whereas a minute repeater, you need to activate it.
Okay.
But this also does have that minute repeater ability. So it will play automatically or it will play on demand.
Very, very nice. Okay.
A beautiful piece.
Now, you had originally told me there were 6, or maybe there were more than that, but you had originally thought of presenting $6 million watches tonight. You're only going with 4. What do you got left?
Okay, so we have the Audemars Piguet Diamond Outrage Sapphire watch. Are you seeing a picture of that?
Yes, we are, and it looks like some kind of a Ozzy Osbourne cuff or something. I don't know what that is.
That is an amazing watch. I actually got to see, touch, feel, and put it on. That watch is the final in a trilogy that Audemars Piguet has made, one each year. The first year was a Diamond Fury. The second was first was a Diamond Punk, then a Diamond Fury, and then this one. And this Diamond Outrage is offered in either all diamond or this blue sapphire. And literally, it's set with 11,000 gemstones. And each of those tall spikes of gold set with stones is supposed to emulate icicles that grow on the buildings in the Jura Mountains where Audemars Piguet is, the Valley Joux where Audemars Piguet is located. So it's a pretty amazing watch, and then smack in the middle you have this secret dial. So the watch opens up, and there's a secret watch dial beneath it to actually tell the time.
I see.
Yes. There's 65 carats of diamonds on these watches, or gemstones.
And did they just make only one piece, or were there more than one?
There was one diamond and one sapphire, and they will make one on demand if you've got the $1 million and the time to wait. But to me, this watch looks a lot like a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, this next one you sent us a picture of, it's a little bit mind-boggling to me. Tell us about this last one.
Okay, so this is by Jacob & Co. It's called the Astronomia Flawless, and it's encased in a totally sapphire outer case. So there's really no metal involved in this case. And it lets you see right through. To make the sapphire case takes about, I'm going to say 37 weeks of special production. Okay. And then inside you see an astronomical display, and frankly it's quite complicated, but it combines the Earth, which rotates, the tourbillon axis, which compensates for errors in timekeeping due to the effect of gravity when the watch is in different positions on the wrist, and it has a moon orb and a three-dimensional sun, and that beautiful faceted diamond, that yellow piece is a Jacob faceted diamond.
Okay.
So it's a lot of tech and a lot of 3D space age all in one. And that's where a lot of watches are going these days.
Very romantic.
Yeah, it's great. And there were a couple of others, but I think these kind of give the flavor of what $1 million watch can be all about.
Right.
And remember, they're all handmade.
Now, before I let you go, I know this is a very busy time of year with Basel coming up. What's next up for you? I mean, I know you have a lot on your plate at this time of year. What's going on for you next?
Thank you. Very quickly next week, I'm heading down to Cuba to an event, a regatta event that is being timed by a American brand. It used to be made in Switzerland, ball watches.
Yeah.
And then 10 days later, I'm off to Basel, Switzerland, for the biggest watch show and jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be a 9-day marathon.
Absolutely. Well, if you see my old friend, please say hello for me.
I definitely will.
Absolutely. I don't think I know our company is going to be there. I don't think I'm going. I haven't purchased any kind of a ticket yet, so I doubt if I'm going. But last minute, I could get the word and I could go. We're Sterling Original. We are in Building 5, which is adjacent to the Hall of Dreams. I know that you don't slum down there. I know that much.
I try to hit as many as I can. I usually see about 100 brands in the time that I'm there.
Yeah.
So, but if you are there, then definitely you need to let me know, and we'll grab a schnitzel together.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we'll get you back on here when you get back from Basel, and we'll get you set up.
Wonderful.
We'll get you set up with Skype or some other form of video web conferencing, so we can actually see you face to face. Okay.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you. Thanks for the report. Thanks, Roberta.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.